My name is Randy Shaw. I'm the director of the Tenderloin Housing Clinic. And 8 years ago, in January of 2011, I realized that there's something really wrong with the Tenderloin, that we don't have enough lights. People all say they don't feel safe at the Tenderloin at night, and it was because we didn't have street lights. And just coincidentally with that, CPMC was planning on building a new hospital at Van Ness and Geary. And there was a lot of talk about what impact that might have on the city. And what I felt was the biggest impact would be all these cars driving up Leavenworth and Larkin from across Market to get to the new hospital, so that it was really important for the pedestrian safety of the Tenderloin to have more street lights. So I asked Mark Aronson, who happens to be here today, professor at Hastings, if his class would do a study analyzing the existing street lights. And here on February 6, 2011, they did this beautiful 10-page study, which became the basis for our requests. I also asked a member of the PUC named Raul Mausolea, an engineer, for the per light cost. So I took those numbers and asked then Mayor Lee if he could get us the money from CPMC. Now, we figured that the cost of adding lights would be $3 million. So I asked the mayor to ask for $3.5 million, figuring there'd be some bargaining. We were dealing with Mark Farrar of CPMC, and they were going to bargain with us. And I thought, well, if we ask for 3.5, we're pretty safe to get 3. Well, if you know Ed Lee and how much he loved the Tenderloin, he met with CPMC, and he got us $4 million. $1 million more than we needed. Because he said, Randy, I just want to make sure we have enough money. He was smart. He was smart. So what happened was the Board of Supervisors approved it all in 2012, but then CPMC had to downsize the project, and it started again in 2014. In 2014, we had a little bit of a conflict with some city officials. You see these beautiful teardrop lights? Does everyone like those lights? Because we're a historic district. Well, you had these engineers who said to me, we're not putting in those lights. We're putting in the modern lights because they work better for LED. And we were having this argument on Taylor Street in August 2014. And I said to him, well, let me put it to you this way. Mayor Lee wants the teardrop lights. Do you want me to tell the mayor you're not agreeing to what he wants? Oh, no, that's okay. It'd be the same thing with Mayor Breed. You get mayors who really care about the Tenderloin, like Lee and Breed, the city bureaucracy starts listening to the neighborhood. So that's what happened. It took a very long time. I used to joke about Harlan Kelly, the PUC, that whenever he saw me, he'd cross the street because he knew I'd harangue him about the delays. I have emails from Harlan's staff saying, Randy, we're really sorry, but worst case scenario, it's finally going to open in the end of 2015. When we finally thought it was going to open earlier in 2018, twice the wrong hardware was delivered. And Barbara Hale, his assistant, was like, I don't know how this could happen. It's never happened before. What happened in the Tenderloin twice? They sent the wrong fixtures. But finally, on December 21st, they were installed. And they're on all the north-south streets and Eddy Street. And I think it's all really fits in perfectly with Mayor Breed's overall strategy for the Tenderloin. From the first week she came into her job, she was here that Friday in the Tenderloin. In the last 2 months, we've seen more police activity in the Tenderloin than we've seen in years, and we all know it's because we have a mayor who's paying attention. So I think, and the police are working hard, but the mayor as a team. So without further ado, I want to thank Mayor Breed for joining us today and for her support for the Tenderloin. Mayor Breed.
Thank you, Randy. I am really excited to be here today, and I know that I've only been mayor for a short period of time, but I think throughout the time that I've been in office, I've probably been in the Tenderloin almost every single day. I come out here because, first of all, a lot of the folks that I actually grew up with live out here and spend a lot of time here. And they want their community to be safe too. And so we have to make sure that the resources that this community needs so that kids can get to school safely, so that the folks who live here, especially our senior community, so that they feel safe in their community. I want to see clean streets in the Tenderloin. I want to see safe streets in the Tenderloin. And I want the people who live here, who spend time here, to take care of the Tenderloin too. This is an effort that is so critical to the success of this community. And I say yes, community, because there are so many people from so many parts of San Francisco that live here, that enjoy this community, some amazing park space. And part of what our responsibility is to make sure that the resources that this community needs, they get. And that is why this opportunity for lighting, and I know people are thinking, well, what's the big deal about lighting? It's a big deal. Every community in this city, they want pedestrian lighting. They want teardrop lighting fixtures that look this beautiful. And the Tenderloin, we have made it a priority so that this community knows that it is a priority, that we're going to continue to make sure that the resources are brought to this community on a regular basis. So I want to thank CPMC for their community benefit package that includes funding for not only pedestrian safety like these lights, but for housing opportunities, for job opportunities. They are a part of the Tenderloin community, and so they have invested in the Tenderloin community. And in addition to all of that, there will be free services and care as a part of that packages to take care of the residents of this community. It is absolutely amazing. It's a true testament to a real partnership between CPMC and the City and County of San Francisco, one that I am excited about, and I can't wait to be there in March when we cut the ribbon to open that new hospital on Van Ness Avenue. I also want to thank Harlan Kelly and the guys and gals at PUC, SFPUC, for your work. Thank you so much for finally getting this job done, because Randy, not only did he harass the mayor at the time, Mayor Ed Lee, he harassed every member of the Board of Supervisors. And that is why we finally have got it done, and yes, in less bureaucracy years than typical. I also want to thank the San Francisco Police Department. Chief Bill Scott is with us. Thank you so much for the officers who continue to walk the beat and develop relationships with the community on a regular basis. It definitely means a lot to have community policing so that members of our community feel safe when they're walking the streets. Thank you to so many folks who are a part of really the driving force. They are the reasons why we as a city pay a lot of attention to providing resources to the community, starting with Randy Shaw and the Tenderloin Housing Community Clinic, the Central Cities SRO Collaborative, thank you so much, La Voz Latinos, UC Hastings, and Unite Here Local 2, incredible partners, people who are fighting and advocating for the Tenderloin. Now, I've made a commitment, as I said to you all before, that we will continue to invest in resources. In fact, many of you heard about the significant amount of money that we actually came into recently. Now, it's one-time funding, and my proposal with conversations with so many people here today includes a significant investment, especially in the Tenderloin community. So make sure you pick up the phone and call your supervisor and other supervisors to let them know that the Tenderloin will get its fair share of resources and will not be forgotten. We're going to make it clean and safe for all the residents and visitors alike. Thank you all so much for being here today.
And thank you, Mayor Breed. And as the mayor pointed out, the reason we have lights, the money came from CPMC. And one of the interesting things about the experience, there was a whole big narrative about how difficult it was for CPMC to work with certain people in the city, but their representative, Mark Farrar, from the very first time I met him, he said, of course we want to do streetlights. Whatever it costs, we want to do it. That is a fact. That is what he said. It might get him in trouble with the CPMC folks for putting out so much money, but he said CPMC wants to increase lighting in the Tenderloin. So there wasn't like any of the pull or the fighting. It was all great. So let me introduce their, I'm going to make sure I get the name pronounced right. Hamala Kanaki? Very good. Chief Operating Officer of CPMC. Thank you, Hamala.
Thank you very much. And we indeed want to have safer streets in the Tenderloin, as your new neighbors in the Tenderloin. So as you heard, Hamila Kaunaki, I'm Chief Operating Officer at Sutter Health CPMC. We have been, in fact, part of San Francisco neighborhoods for over 150 years. We're very excited, as Mayor Breed said, be opening our new hospital, our new campus on Venice, just around the corner from here, on March 2nd, less than 2 months. And as a non-for-profit organization, Sutter Health believes in giving back to the communities. And these beautiful lights that everybody's talking about are one of the ways that we're working with our neighbors, the city, to make our communities better, safer, and healthier. In fact, a couple days ago, last Friday, I was going to dinner. I was walking on Polk Street going to dinner in the Tenderloin, and I noticed the lights, and I mentioned to my husband how beautiful the lights, how bright and how beautiful they were. And so we're very pleased and proud to be part of the city and the Tenderloin. Thank you very much.
And our last speaker, you know, look, there's the Empire Market right across the way, which is benefiting from all these lights. And Bora Alhaj and her husband have run that market for decades. And she'd like to explain how the lights mean to her. Bora?
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bora Alhaj, and my husband and I own Empire Market right across the street. My family, which include my children, live in Tenderloin neighborhood for many years. I work at our store at night, so my family is happy to have additional light that will improve safety on sidewalk. During the daytime, as business owner and resident, we have a hard time walking this sidewalk due to public safety issue. We have faced with every day. However, I'm glad to know that new light will offer much safer. And we will be able to know what's going on the sidewalk outside our family business neighborhood. Thank you very much.
And it turns out that the lights actually got on and in before Jane Kim left office, I think within a few days. And Jane happened to come by unexpectedly, so she'd like to say a few words.
So it really is incredible that these lights have come on just a couple of days before my term was ending, only because this was one of the first projects I worked on when I came into office in 2011. It only took a little over 8 years, but this did really begin, as Randy had mentioned, in the community first, when the negotiations with CPMC began about the move of their hospital to the Van Ness Corridor. And there's a lot of questions about the impact that this hospital would have in terms of traffic to the neighborhood, in terms of economy and many other things. And it was groups like Central City SRO Collaborative, La Voz Latina, who had been working collaboratively on safe passages to increase adult presence on the streets as kids walk back and forth between school and after school programs. And I see many of our safe passage captain corners here today. And Randy, who had talked about a study of how this neighborhood had the least number of streetlights at night of any neighborhood here in San Francisco. And so this, along with the pedestrian safety improvement, really became the priorities of the community and how CPMC could invest in making this neighborhood healthier, safer, and stronger. Now, there were many steps along that pathway to get here, of which CPMC was not actually the major obstacle because they committed to this program so early on. But I can't mention how many neighborhood studies and community processes that our offices worked with so many of the community leaders here over the last 8 years to make that happen. I do want to really give a huge shout out to the Public Utilities Commission, and I know the General Manager, Holly Kelly, is here. The staff really did a tremendous amount of work to move this money that had been committed, which actually I should note, also went to the Tenderloin Museum that was standing behind here today, and we actually had to repurpose other city funds to come to help fund what CPMC had originally committed to funding, which was our street lighting program. And the PUC really made that happen. And whether the challenges were getting PG&E to connect it to their infrastructure, to so many other design challenges, and then different wants from the community and cost, the PUC really came out, along with the Mayor's Office of Economic Development, working alongside our community leaders and Tenderloin Housing Clinic to make sure that this happened within 8 years. So I just want to wish everyone a big round of congratulations. Our neighborhood really does work together to make this community safer. And I want to thank our mayor for her strong commitment to making sure that the Tenderloin continues to be invested in heavily and strongly and prioritized over her time as mayor. Thank you very much.
So it's Paul, your new supervisor.
Yes, and actually Matt Haney's out of town, or he would be here, our new supervisor. So thank you all. If you have any questions or anything, you can come and ask the folks, and enjoy the lights. The darker it gets, the brighter they are. Thank you all.